When did you have to choose between two lives? The night my pregnant wife and my 6-year-old daughter were both dying in the same hospital, and I could only be with one of them when they needed me most. It was supposed to be a normal Tuesday. Sarah was 38 weeks pregnant with our second child, and Emma had just started first grade. We were the perfect little family, excited about becoming 4 instead of 3. That afternoon, Emma's school called. She'd fallen off the monkey bars and hit her head hard. They were sending her to Children's Hospital as a precaution. I picked up Sarah and we rushed to the hospital. Emma was conscious but groggy, and the doctors wanted to run some tests to check for a concussion. While we were waiting in Emma's room, Sarah suddenly doubled over in pain. "Something's wrong," she gasped. "This isn't normal." The nurses called the OB team immediately. Sarah was having complications, severe preeclampsia that was threatening both her life and the baby's. They needed to do an emergency C-section right away. But then Emma's CT scan result came back. She had bleeding in her brain. They needed to do surgery immediately to relieve the pressure. 2 operating rooms, 2 life-or-death situations, same time. "Dad, I'm scared," Emma whispered as they prepped her for surgery. "Stay with me," Sarah begged as they wheeled her toward the OR. "I can't do this alone." I had to choose which one of them to abandon in their moment of greatest need. I chose Emma. She was 6 years old and terrified. Sarah was strong and had medical professionals taking care of her, but Emma needed her daddy. I held Emma's hand as they put her under anesthesia. "I'll be right here when you wake up, princess." For the next 4 hours, I sat in the pediatric surgery waiting room while my wife was fighting for her life 3 floors above me. Both surgeries were successful, but barely. Emma's brain surgery went well. The bleeding stopped, and she recovered with no permanent damage. Sarah survived, but she'd hemorrhaged during delivery and nearly died on the operating table. Our son was born healthy, but had to spend weeks in the NICU. When I finally got to see Sarah after her surgery, she was devastated. "You weren't there," she said through tears. "I was dying, and you weren't there. I had to choose, Sarah." Emma was terrified. I was terrified, too. I thought I was going to die without seeing you again. Sarah understood logically why I'd made the choice I did, but emotionally, she felt abandoned during the most vulnerable moment of her life. Our marriage never recovered from that night. Sarah developed postpartum depression, partly from the trauma of nearly dying alone. She couldn't look at our son without remembering that terrifying surgery, but Sarah kept pulling away from me. "You showed me where your priorities are," she'd say during our fight. "That's not fair. I had to make an impossible choice, and you chose her over me." 2 years later, Sarah filed for divorce. She moved across the country with our son. I get him for summers and holidays, but I missed his first steps, his first words, his first day of school. Emma, now 8, asks why mommy left and why her little brother lives so far away. I don't know how to explain that saving her life cost me my marriage and split our family apart. The worst part is knowing that if I'd chosen differently, if I'd stayed with Sarah, Emma might have died alone and scared in that operating room. There was no right choice that night, only 2 impossible options that both led to losing part of my family. The cruel truth is that some decisions destroy you no matter what you choose. That night, I saved my daughter's life and lost my wife's love, and I'll carry both consequences forever.